Okay, now let's take a look at question number 6. I love this question. Uh, what it's asking is that in the kind of do-over process, based on the list of ongoing studies from the community conversations, that now we're adding a traffic analysis, systems infrastructure, geotechnical study, geotechnical engineer, and program of requirements. And so the question is, what studies or information is missing, if any, from the current facilities planning process? And so I love these researcher type of questions. And so one thing that I would say is that, we haven't really seen an in-depth research in the education research. So what's the impact of transitions, adding on into digital transition? What would be the potential impact of consolidation? So there is educational research out there that I've alluded to in some other questions, but I think it would be helpful to bring some of that information together for the community. I am always interested here when it talks about program of requirements, and so thinking about square footage, is the district still relying on OFCC standards, which it did in last year's process? But what I'm not clear on is sometimes it's presented as those are mandates, and that's not the case. There's many districts around Ohio that do not partner with OFCC for a variety of different reasons. So are we partnering with OFCC? What would be the implications in terms of when we would actually get that funding? I know that I did look this up. We're like 402 on the priority list out of the 600 plus districts in Wyoming. And if we're not planning to work with OFCC, then there's more wiggle room when we're thinking about square footage or those program requirements. Two other things that I think I would like to see would be, one, if we changed for each school configuration, what does that do to the busing or to the walkability maps, right? So if we were to have consolidation, then what percentage of students would then become bus riders who are currently walkers, and what does that look like through the trajectory of different students' careers in Wyoming? So I think that would be fairly simple to be able to put together, because you could essentially create maps and draw the walking versus the busing circles around each of the different school variations, which might be helpful for the community. And then finally, we've spent so much time talking about these bond issues and talking about the upfront costs of being able to build these schools, which of course is important for the bond issue. But I think it would also be helpful for the community to know what are the projections for the long-term costs of NEN operating these schools. And so if we make these changes, what are going to be what are the estimated ongoing operating costs within each of these options? And I think that is important information to share with Wyoming taxpayers.